Hi, welcome to my journey. My name is Cherie. I had to get out today. Guess why? Damn. You know it. I ran out of coffee creamer. Oh my God. I tried to do a makeshift coffee, and guess what? I spilled that coffee all over. And I'm like, okay, maybe we need to get out because we never like to be mad in our home. When we get mad, we're going to get mad outside of the home. But anyway, I have some things that I wanted to talk about. And it has to do with infinite beings. Not everybody is an infinite being. And even infinite beings, sometimes they have to be extinguished. Hold on. Okay, so instead of me being able to drink my protein coffee, I have to drink a ghost protein, which is not bad. It's good. You know, it's clear. Plus, it's hot out here. It's 81 degrees. One of the reasons why I had bought the ghost clear because, you know, it's not powdery and, you know, it tastes like juice. So here we are with the ghost protein mix. Okay? And it's good. It hits that palate in different ways. I think I got the watermelon something flavor, and it's like hitting my palate in different ways. Yeah, so when we talk about infinite beings, right? I mean, you can't really think of yourself as an intimate being unless you're a fixed sign. Okay? You really can't. Now, why do I say that? Because a cardinal, they have to keep with beginnings. Mutables, they have to end things and begin things or initiate things. Okay? So, who don't do that? Oh, the fixed signs. The fixed signs don't do that. The fixed signs, they have to have a whole different system, operating system, to be fixed. Right? Better than the Maytag warranty. Oh, at least they should be. If they're not, oh Lord, help us all. Okay? So in our realm, the infinity is the death, right? And I know y'all keep thinking, oh, that you talking Scorpio. Well, true. We are talking Scorpio, but Scorpio is a fixed sign. They're under the realm of the fixed sign Empress. Okay? That's it, that's all. Those who get it, you get it. Those who don't get it, oh well, right? Our sun is the fixed sign, yes, right? Taurus is the first fixed sign of the zodiac, right? Very fixed. How are they fixed? Because they are a prime even number. They're the only prime even number in the numeral system. I mean, if you can't even imagine what that means, and we're not talking about in your ego, okay? We're not talking about in your ego, because we don't operate in our egos 24/7. We just don't. And if you do, that's problematic. Okay? So, yeah. And I'm feeling a little bit better, even though I'm angry that I dropped and spilled my protein, my extra large protein coffee all over the place. Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. So, that's why I decided, that I needed to get outside. Right? If I'm gonna be mad, let me get mad at something outside of the house, outside of myself and my actions. So we're very thankful that we're able, to get some things done. Like I said, I got a starter coming to the house from Amazon. And once that happens, then, I'll probably be forced into doing a bout of excessive work that I shouldn't have to do because I'm retired. I am. I'm fully, officially retired. I don't care how far they keep moving the goalposts for retirement. I'm officially retired. Period. Right? And they pushed me out the workplace anyway. So by pushing me out of the workplace, they retired me. They put me out the pasture. Right? I don't know what they was thinking, but I don't think it was the wisest move that they ever made. And whoever made that decision definitely wasn't the sharpest tool in the toolbox, in this tool shed. Okay? But it is what it is. And we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna keep it pushing. Now, getting back to an infinite being that decided to incarnate here on the earth. I want to tell you like an imaginary story. Let's imagine this. Let's imagine that one of the 7 sisters in the Palladian galaxy decided to incarnate here on earth, right? Because why? Pallades is like the gateway to Hades. Okay, Palladius is the gateway to Hades. Okay. And the people that was coming through there during their judgment, were saying that there was a lot of, enslavement, extortion, coercion, and unfair business practices, right? And so it's hard. It really is hard, to take the word of a criminal or somebody that was convicted of a criminal offense. So one of the infinite beings from Pallades decided to come here to the earth, incarnate here on the earth, to verify, that people are being sent to Hades unjustifiably. Okay? That's why when we look up in the sky you know, we assume that one of the stars were blocked. They weren't blocked. They were incarnated here, right? So they could relay the information back to the Pleiadians, right? And the data that was retrieved was just exactly how it was done on every level, within the home, within the community, within the workplace, within no stone left unturned. Damn it, I don't have to keep repeating myself. All right. And basically, they definitely were sent at this time because there was a huge threat to try to destroy the earth. It was like they did not want to make the necessary changes to evolve, right? And I know you all are like, well, what makes this time so different than the last time? What makes this time so different than the last time is that, again, we have a population out here that wants to evolve and to become intergalactic, meaning that they want to travel into space and deal with other life forms. Before, the shenanigans that was going on the earth was contained within the earth. Therefore, it was a you problem. It was a you earthling problem. But when you want to expand into outer space, when you want to send messages out to outer space, when you want to interact with extraterrestrial beings, that's what changed the circumstances of what had happened before, right? Before, what they do? They made a tower, right? They made a tower because they wanted to reach heaven. Yes, they did. Okay? But they wasn't ready back then either. Right? The call was put out there in their towers that they wanted to reach heaven. Right? And yet, they wanted to reach heaven on their own terms, in their own way. They wanted to do it their way. Right? All the while that they was creating these towers, they were like, we're going to do it our way because we are gods. Okay. So, in our world, we're like, well, you can be king of your castle. You could be the head of your house. Right? You can even be the head of your community, your church, your, country. Okay? But when you start making it seem like you're God, and then you go into the universe, the real universe, right? You have to, again, think of the perspective. What's the perspective? How big Earth really is in the Milky Way. Okay? Earth is but a speckle, a freckle, right? Although it's useful, it is. It's useful. A lot of people, and intergalactic beings have utilized this planet to incarnate here and to experience a whole lot of feelings. It was designed basically to be a destination vacation. for intergalactic spirits. Ooh, it's kind of tart, and then it's kind of sweet. It's kind of bitter. I mean, the whole rotation is on my palate. But it's low carb. Low carb. I think it's 25 grams of protein. I don't believe that it has any fiber to mention. But anyway, very good. Ghost, I recommend Ghost for the flavor, moderate cost, and the fact that you can get creamy and you can get clear type of protein mixes. They also have individual servings, available. So yeah. So this is why we have been letting y'all know that y'all are under spiritual judgment, right? And it was basically as a result of wanting to expand, right? When you want to expand, that's always becomes problematic, right? Like right now, if you'll see that there are so many people who want to go and be resident or a citizen of another country because they disagree with some of the practices of where they were born. Okay? And how we've been handling it have not been good. How we even handle the fact that, say, a woman, is in an arranged marriage, in a marriage of convenience, meaning that, the man wanted her, offered her, sustenance and comfortability, if she would, be his, companion and support him, right? And women have done that, right? And, the women have also said that, the men have breached the contracts with them, right? And not only did they breach the contracts with them, but these women, are dedicating, the best years of their lives, right? They're dedicating the most productive years of their lives, right? From the time that, they're 18 to, I'm saying 18, but usually these men are taking these women before the age of 18. A lot of these women are having children before they even graduate high school, right? And, being forced to, carry a child in tow while being undereducated to even sustain herself, much less the child, and he refuses to help her. Matter of fact, he denies culpability. He said that's somebody else that did it. And then if there's a man that will step up and say, I'll be that baby daddy, then he gets highly upset and mad and comes out with the truth that no, indeed, he is the baby daddy. And now he wants to persecute the woman as if he is her God. Right? And this is the whole, you know, the snake biting off its own tail. Okay? Why do I say that? Because man cannot exist without the woman. He came from the woman's womb. Period. Now, if man decides he wants to live in another vessel, he should let that be known in spirit that nope, he does not want to be in human form. He does not want to have this body, this mind, this mitochondria. That's all he has to say, right? However, mistreating and harming women because they gave birth to you is not acceptable in spirit. It's just not. So this is where we're at. We're at a stage where, you know, there's judgment being called because on one hand they said no, they wanted to still be able to live in the humanoid form, right? And it's like, okay, well, if you want to be, you know, in the humanoid form, then, you know, you're going to have to face judgment. And the judgment shall be rendered according to your victims. That's what they didn't expect. What they thought was going to happen to them was like what happens on this planet, right? Where the men are like, hey, you know, these women, they can't pass judgment on us because we are the judges, right? These women, you know, can't, you know, press charges against us because we make the laws. We are the attorneys. We determine how the law is going to be interpreted. Okay? So this is problematic because we're at a stage where we all know women are saying they don't want to give birth to male children. Not that they don't want to give birth to children. Some of them, they don't want to give birth to no children because why? They feel unable to protect their female fetuses also. So what does that mean? That means when women don't want to give birth to children, that even if there is what do you call it? Damn, there's a lot of people here. What's today? Today's Tuesday. And there's a lot of people here. Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Let me go park over here. Oh, that's right. Voting. Yeah. We have our primary election today here in Texas. That's why there was all those cars. Now, I really don't like, you know, the way that they had set it up for me to get paid. I spent, how many hours was that? I think I spent about like 6 hours training to volunteer at the elections, the poll for the elections. And they said, well, no, because of the way that it was in agreement of a majority, they didn't need to open up more polling stations. So then they wanted to assign me a clerical position, and I was like, I didn't sign up for a clerical position. I'm not going. Right? But anyway, they thought that they can go ahead and get me to participate in this one because they had gave me an assignment and everything. I didn't reply, didn't respond, because I don't like how they treated me before, nor did they pay me. I'm like, oh, I should have got paid even though you didn't need me. You don't put me on the list and say, well, now on this other primary, we could use you, and if you want to get paid, I'm like, fuck you and go fuck yourself. That's what I'm likely to say. And I said it. Hold on. So anyway, I'm using my selfie stick. Now you don't have to be so up close and personal. You don't have to be in my face and in my space. Okay? So yeah, that was one issue, because the agreement that they had made to the people that even if they didn't use you or even if they didn't need you, you would still get paid for your training hours. The only way that you wouldn't get paid for your training hours is if they needed you and you didn't show up. So I'm like, oh my gosh, our government, this is at the government level, right? This is at the government level doing double talk. Okay? And I'm not with the double talk, right? If I feel like the agreement has been breached and you don't want to fulfill the agreement, I don't think that it's my responsibility, to keep the agreement going. So, and that's just the Taurus in me. The Taurus is in me like, hell no. I value myself, my time, and integrity. And if you show me you don't do the same, we don't have nothing to talk about. All right? So, yeah. Now, I definitely was panicking because, I had deadlines, where people wanted to get paid by the 27th or else, I would suffer, insufficient funds, right? Because I didn't know what was going to hit first. Was my payment, my retirement Social Security benefit was going to hit first, or were they going to pull out an automatic payment when it came to like my car insurance? And I took the automatic payment option so that I could receive a $48 discount. Because I'm trying to keep my insurance under $100 a month. Okay? So then, I also had to put my electricity on delay, and they were like, yeah, we can delay it till the 27th, but you got to pay it by the 27th. Right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got two important payments needed by the 27th. Now, yeah. Right? So anyway, I'm gonna have to get me a mic if I'm gonna start using this selfie stick. So anyway, I went ahead and I paid my necessities because I did get paid yesterday. I'm like, ooh, I thought it was the fourth Wednesday of the month. But anyway, I got paid yesterday, and they took out the $200, the $202 for Medicare. Right? I'm like, when did I apply for that? I thought you had to apply for it 3 months before or 3 months afterwards. I was applying for medical in November, and somehow, I guess, they're automatically taken out for Medicare. $202. So let's just say every senior and everybody that's on disability are being deducted $202. Now, I remember, what was that? I used to date a guy that was on SSI. And back then, that was over 20 years ago, I guess. Back then, SSI, Medicare, or Medicaid was $150. Okay? So that, to me, means that it has went up $50. Right? And I know some people will say, well, going up $25 a decade isn't much. Yeah, but the payout isn't rising in the same ratio. It's just not. So, yeah. Whew, it's humid out here. Lord. So, I guess I can go ahead and cancel my telemed, which was only $29.99 a month, and find out how I can, begin, this whole Medicaid that I'm paying for starting next month. I guess I could check my mailbox and see if I had gotten an introductory welcome package. Okay? Otherwise, I guess I'm gonna have to spend who knows how long, calling the Social Security office and figuring out, how to select a plan that I'm paying for. And $200 a month, considering that most people, that they had to pay for their own medical, unless they're in poverty, you could say is fairly cheap. But when you're on a fixed income, $200 a month is a lot, right? Because first of all, my Social Security, was barely $600 a month, right? And maybe 10 years ago, you could say, well, if shit hit the fan, you could kind of live off of $1,600 a month. But now, if you're only getting $1,600 a month, chances are you're trying to figure out an exit plan so that you can go and live in a country where the cost of living isn't so high. Right? And I've been looking, I've been watching. We're getting a lot of information from expats letting us know, the obstacles, the visas, the requirements, and in some cases, there have been people who've had their visas pulled on them. And I'm like, oh, you can have your visa pulled? I'm like, well, shit, yeah. If you could be denationalized by your own country of origin, yeah, you definitely can have your visa pulled. Is it always fair? Nope. From what I understand, people have said that they are not, there's no cut and dry law that makes it fair. So what does that mean? Well, damn, it's so lush through here now. Oh my God, it's just lush. I'll let you see where I'm walking. It's just lush. When I was walking through here during the wintertime, it was not this green. It was not. So yeah, we decided to walk outside today instead of walking on the treadmill. Basically because, I have so much on my mind. Now, typically, I would journal. Okay, typically I would journal. But like I said, I'm using YouTube as my journal. Right? Because chances are I'll never write that book. So it'll all be recorded on the internet devices. And I got different parts in the cloud when I used to have an iPhone, but I'm totally disconnected with that. I have information on my Wix app, and I haven't been using that. And then I have this, my Google Drive and my YouTube. Okay. Even though it's lush, I'm really glad that there's not a lot of mosquitoes and bugs. Cause I was thinking, should I put on some DEET before coming out here? And I only had to kill one bug that landed on me. So yeah. I'm thinking I'm needing to go around at least twice. Even though I don't want to. But in my mind, I'll be exercising for 4 or 5 hours. Whew. So yeah. So the 3 things that had really bothered me, well, 4 things, was car repairs, car note, insurance, electrical, and I mean, you know, all other things, I guess, you know, I'll have to wing it. Right? Because I'm in a home and I'm on an FHA protected loan. They're supposed to wait, you know, to, you know, for eviction proceedings, you know, I think it's like if the FHA protects the loan up to like a third, then it's supposed to be protected up to a third of the loan. Which is the reason why so many of them, you know, they'll tag on fees and they won't let you pay partial payments, and they'll force you to pay lump sums. And yeah, they've even added fees that you don't even know what they are and what they're for, just to hurry up and, you know, accumulate, you know, the amount owed so that they could proceed against a foreclosure on you. Okay? Which is the same thing that like car notes would do, right? But car notes, you know, I don't know how, you know, the home situation was able to adopt the same type of authority of snatching back property the same way that a car has been able to. Because a car, you know, it's a luxury. right? A home is a necessity. So I'm not really sure how that happened. But we see, that protections and safety nets are all being dismantled. And one of the reasons and the justifications that they give is that in order to keep them going, they have to maintain it at a high cost and then enforce it at an even higher cost. That's why, they are so adamant about getting rid of people who don't want to function properly within the system that they've created. Okay? And the rebellious ones, they're saying they can't operate within the system that rejects them and forces them, to pay more and to make less money. Okay? So the other thing that's going on out here too is the Black Power thing. The Black Power thing is kind of dissipating when Black women are realizing that they're the only ones sacrificing. Okay? Not only that, they're the only ones not being rewarded for their efforts and appreciated for their accomplishments. So I am seeing more and more Black women deciding that if they get a better offer and fairer treatment from a man from a different race, that they'll take the offer, right? And of course, that means that as a result of interracial copulation, that there'll be more brown-skinned people, which means you cannot discriminate against the brown-skinned people who are brown-skinned because they are two or more races. Okay? Now think about this in terms of being intergalactical, right? And when we were watching Star Wars, Star Trek, right? And you were seeing that, there were other species, and we have other species of living entities right here on the earth. Like, for instance, this beautiful tree, right? It's not the same as me, but it's alive. And there's a network under the ground and in the air of these trees, being a whole community. See? Yeah, a whole community of trees. Now, if we don't respect other life forms right here on our planet, we are not going to be allowed to be intergalactic. And trying to force our way out there into the galaxy, we would definitely come across as like Klingons. Right? Even though they might want to allow some people to be able to be intergalactic, those people will have Klingons, right? And we see it today, right? We see how people will have loyalty to disloyal people on this world, in this world. Right? That ride or die with someone. It's like right or wrong. You know, you're just going to follow this person, got this person's back, instead of what? Instead of telling this person that they're wrong, right? Giving them tough love. You want to love them, what? What you call unconditionally? And watch them burn? Anyway, I wouldn't do it. You know, and the thing that I had to even tell my daughters, I'm like, look, you know, the only thing I can advise you to do is if you're going to be with somebody, be with them because you love them. Make sure you love them and they love you. Make sure the love is reciprocated. Make sure you're getting together out of love. That you both love each other. And you'll hear it throughout the whole spiritual community. Oh, these two people, we're going to get together and they're going to be a power couple. Like what? What happened to the love? Right? Are you going to follow a leader because, you know, they can influence people in a very strong way? Like what? Again, where's the love? Right? You shouldn't have to force people to follow you. Right? But in our world, you know, people, you know, they respect who they fear more than stick with the people they love. Mm-hmm. So you will even see people who will partner up just to make sure that, you know, they have somebody that got their back. And sometimes, you know, that could be unhealthy. But it's all, you know, based upon them wanting to do certain things on the earth that they feel like they can't do by themselves. And even if they could do it by themselves, they don't have the time for a 360-degree perspective. So they want somebody watching their back. So yeah, doesn't necessarily have to be a healthy partnership. A lot of times it's not. And you know, when we see examples like where say a celebrity decides, you know, they need like to pay a personal assistant, right? What does a personal assistant do? Well, they make sure that the things that you had set that needed to be done gets done. That's what a personal assistant does. But we've seen, who was that? Was that Selena? I think it was Selena. Wow, that's thunder. We are seeing Selena, who, I think it was her, who was killed by her personal assistant. And nobody could figure out why she did it, except to say that she was jealous of her boss. I think it goes deeper than that. I do. It was so nice walking this area, and I was feeling like I was alone. But now we have peoples. We have peoples joining us. And I don't want to film them on my video. My video is my vlog, solely by myself. So hold on. Okay. Whew. Two different parties running up on me at the same time. And the thunderclaps is getting loud. We haven't experienced any rain or nothing like that yet. But yeah. Definitely indicators that there's some thunderstorms going on somewhere. So yeah, kind of glad I got out when I did. That way, when the rain rolls in here, I won't wish I coulda, woulda, did it, shoulda, because I did it. Whew. It's hot. Ooh. So yeah, you best believe, hot and cold mixing, we gonna be in for some more diverse weather conditions. Hold on. Oh, thank God the car started. So yeah, did my walk. Unbelievable that it took me like 45 minutes to walk. But that's okay. Keeps our heart rate up. Because we went around the loop twice. So, let me stop here and upload this one and get back with you, okay?